There's no violation of a Second Amendment right. We talk like there's no amendment that's absolute. When the amendment was passed, it didn't say anybody can own a gun and any kind of gun and any kind of weapon. You couldn't buy a cannon when this amendment was passed. And so no reason why you should be able to buy certain assault weapons.
The right is to keep and bear arms. Our founding fathers were intelligent men. And when they chose the word arms, they chose it deliberately. If they had wanted to protect something else, like tools for hunting, they would have said that. But they said arms. If we look at dictionaries, like, for example, Samuel Johnson's 1755 dictionary, we start to see a pattern for how the word arms is defined at the time. Johnson says that arms are weapons of offense or armor of defense. John Trussler's 1794 lexicon says, by arms, we understand those instruments of offense, generally made use of in war, such as firearms, swords. Noah Webster's 1828 defines it, weapons of offense, or armor for defense and protection of the body. Is it just me, or does it sound like what they're describing is assault weapons and body armor? I think we can understand why the Founding Fathers took this so seriously if we understand their immediate historic context. They had just come out of a massive war against Great Britain. Against all odds, they had prevailed and gained their independence. The tipping point that had led to the war, that had led to their independence, was April 19th, 1775. On that day, British forces marched out of Boston in an attempt to capture weapons and munitions owned by the militias and stored at Concord. However, thanks to Paul Revere and other men, the militias had been warned in advance, and they mustered in great numbers, confronted the British force, and they thrashed it all the way back to Boston. Now, these men that came out, they were not part of some state defense force or something like that. These were regular men, and they were controlled, their militias were controlled at a local level. They were very autonomous from the Massachusetts government and from the British government. And I think that's why the British government was so eager to confiscate their weapons and specifically their cannons. At Lexington and at Concord, thousands of Americans confronted the British, and they confronted them putting their lives on the line in order to defend a right that they considered to be sacred.